So let's talk again about knife making. And first of all, let me say there are a lot of really good knife makers out there that are craftsmen far beyond anything that I've ever done. They're all over the internet, and they sell their knives are just almost perfect. And I'm proud for them. If you're just looking to make a knife, to have the experience of making a knife, carrying it with you, hunting and fishing, and having that satisfaction, that inner satisfaction of having made something and you're actually using it and it's functioning good, okay, in the woods. In other words, every time you grab it, you go, well, you know, I made that with my own hands, or I put it together, or I crafted it, or you took some part in making it, okay? So here again, let me show you. Here's a blade I made several years ago, and I have changed the handle on it a few times. There's the sheath, nothing fancy, just some leather I bought. So it's a Osage orange handle. It's a slab handle knife, and you can see that I have it's rough. You see those hammer marks in the blade? Okay, because I like that. I like that look of those hammer marks. I didn't want to. I could buff that out if I wanted to, or sand it out and take it down, but I didn't do that. And this is made, and you can see it's not kind of a little. It's got a little wonky to it, you know, as far as it's not perfectly straight. But man, like when I go on a backpacking trip or something, I'll carry that knife because it's big enough to do some bigger work with if I need to. You know, if I need to, I don't know, just whatever you use a bigger knife for. Plus, it's a good. The way I've got it built, I can use this as a draw knife if I'm working on some kind of woodcraft or bushcraft stuff. And then I've got that. I could use that part as a skinning blade. It's just a good all-around knife for the outdoors. So you would say, and even this brass piece, I didn't buy that guard, okay? I manufactured that out of some kind of piece of brass that I came up with. So when I first started making knives, I had used the book, The $50 Knife Shop. And my idea was, if you're going to make a knife, I don't want to have to buy everything. I want to use stuff that I can find, because this is made out of a disc harrow blade that I found some old farmer's shed. He gave me some disc blades, okay? So, and then on the sheath, what I like to do is I have you can wear it using that belt loop and it hangs low, okay? But I put this on there and it rides high, and I'll wear it on my left side, okay? So I'll have that always, it's always ready right there with my left hand to come out with it, because it rides high on my belt. Now, here's another, it's a homemade knife, and this one was a plow blade. It was a plow, real thick. See how thick it is? Very thick. And I did not forge this knife. I just did what they call a stock removal, and that's just basically spend a lot of time putting a bevel on it, and you can see it's not a perfect bevel. And the knife just, I'm not really crazy about it. The handle looks good. It's got deer antler and I think red oak, and I manufactured that guard. But that's another, if you think about it, that's just taking a raw piece of metal and shaping the blade, designing the blade, and then putting the bevel on there and getting it sharp. And it's pretty sharp. It'd do a good job, okay? So there again, I think if you made a knife like that, then I think you could pat yourself on the back and carry that in the woods. But then I feel pretty good about these knives. I did not manufacture the blade. I didn't cut the blade out. It came to me that way. All I had to do was build the handle, okay, and the sheath. And I think I actually bought this brass guard, and boy, that saves a lot of time too. And it has Osage orange, which I harvested myself, leather, which I bought. It has black cherry burl, handle that I harvested, and then it has a deer antler that I probably harvested somewhere. Okay, and then of course I made a load of sheets. And the reason I keep emphasizing this is because you don't have to meet somebody else's approval for the knives or anything else that you make. I have a whole shop full of stuff that I've made that I carry with me into the woods when I fish and hunt and camp, and there's just a great satisfaction of being able to make your own stuff. And I have confidence that if I didn't have a knife, if I could find some metal and I had the ability to build a fire, which I usually do, then I could figure out how to forge something just with a fire and being wherever I was. I believe I could do that. I could find something to beat out a knife with. Okay, and so there again, I'm just saying, this is kind of a pep talk. Don't let the gurus or the know-it-alls on the internet try to discourage you from taking on something like knife making or bow making or arrow making or flint knapping or something that you want to try. Don't let the so-called experts that maybe think you have to do it a certain way and it has to be like this, but on and on and on. You just blah 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 blah. Just try it, and then experience the deep satisfaction of having accomplished something that you didn't know how to do, like maybe last week or the week before or whatever. It was a long learning curve for me to build knives. I'll be honest with you. Or the bows were even worse when I started doing homemade wooden bows. I think I broke the first 17. Yeah, 17 bows I broke before I made the first. And the first one I made successfully, it was slow and it had terrible string follow, on and on and on. But then, of course, I got better. But anyway, y'all have a great day. God bless you.